Hi, I'm Tessa. Welcome back to my channel. This video I'm going to talk about my life before I moved to Queensland. I moved up when I was 9, so we'll talk about the life I went through before I came up, because my life's always been in stages, lots of changes at each stage. Some of my earliest memories are, don't know what age, but they were quite young. I was before school, used to have people look after me when mum and dad were at work, one being my grandmother, my angel. She used to look after me. She was probably the one person that was able to control my temper tantrums when I was losing my mind a little bit, not understanding what was going on. I'd get quite frustrated and quite angry and lash out. Parents thought I was crazy. Nan knew how to control it. She would just literally sit on the floor when I was losing my shit, wrap her arms and legs around me and just tell me she loved me. It's okay, I love you. And over time that would calm me down and I'd get back into being a normal person. Some crazy things that happened in my younger days. Falling out of the car, leaving preschool, I remember that. Didn't have a seatbelt on as mum's pulled out around the corner. I hadn't shut the door properly. Out the front seat of the Tarago and onto the road. Mum found it quite hilarious and couldn't stop laughing. I wasn't hurt, had a couple of scratches and bumps, but I was okay. Had lots of family around, so when they would come visit, I was usually told, get to your room. So I spent a lot of time in my room. Some of my funny memories from that is I'd get locked in my room, they would tie the door handles because I kept trying to come out. So I jumped out the window, pushed the fly screen out and jumped out. Or my Uncle Kevin looked after me once. He wasn't happy with my behaviour, so he put me in my room. I didn't like that idea, so I barricaded the door with everything I could lift at 4, 5, 6 years of age. Not sure how old I was. I remember when my nan asked me to check if the iron was hot, if she'd forgotten to turn it off. So how did I test it? I put my hand against the hot iron and burnt my whole palm. As a young child, I suffered asthma, so I remember being on nebulizer. I remember that wasn't a good time. I was quite big, wasn't very fit, couldn't do a lot of running, wasn't allowed to. So yeah, school. Grade 1. I took a butter knife to school, apparently, and pulled it on my grade 1 teacher. I then was bullied by all the kids, couldn't make friends, didn't get on with anyone, would lash out when I wasn't getting my own way. My mum, not knowing how to control it or what it was, took me to psychologists who said I wasn't crazy, I just was a shit of a kid. Finally went to a naturopath, held onto these 2 things, did some stuff on an old board. We're talking early 80s, guys, so not a lot of tech around, not a lot of knowledge around any of this sort of stuff. He said I was allergic to artificial colours and flavours, so he gave me some meds that would keep me very calm through the week, and then on a weekend it was like I'd be bouncing off walls because it was 2 different medications, all natural. Don't know what they were, can't tell you that, sorry, don't remember, too young. And yeah, it was a way for me to burn off the energy that I had. Had some wonderful times with cousins and uncle and aunties. My uncle had 3 kids to his first wife, who was Auntie Maxine. She and him divorced, don't know the details. So then, because that wasn't a very good breakup, I never got to see those 3 kids. I very rarely saw them before we moved up. Have never seen them since. Have never spoken to them since. Uncle Kevin then got remarried. He had three. His partner had Auntie Lucy had three kids. An older daughter, a middle-aged son, and a younger daughter. So again, we would spend a lot of time at family things. Mum and Dad would also take us over to visit friends, and you'd do the teleporting thing where they were playing cards. You'd fall asleep on the couch and wake up at home in your own bed. That was always fun. But Victoria was not a fun time for me. Part of that naturopathy diagnosis was that the cold weather was not good. It was triggering the ADHD. So that's when the family decided to pack up and move to Queensland. At that stage, my grandmother Nan was living with us in a granny flat upstairs. She used to help look after us, as I said. That stopped when we got to Queensland. So I'll get onto that story on another video. But Victoria for me was vague memories, a lot of torment, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, not understanding why I was the way I was, putting a lot of pressure on my parents, and probably damaged a lot of my relationship with family because of my behaviour. I think a lot of it was not understanding being trans, and lashing out because I wasn't at peace, I wasn't happy. Grade 3, I lost my temper and kicked the shit out of a teacher. I remember trying to run away as a male teacher came in, was a female teacher. As a male teacher had heard the commotion, as he's come in, and literally I was running in the air. He's just grabbed me by the scruff of the neck, taking me to the principal's office. So I got suspended in primary twice before grade 3, or once I got to grade 3. I thought, yay, holiday. It wasn't real smart. Did a lot of adventures. We had a caravan that was in Geelong. So, swam at Spells Beach when I was young. The caravan park was probably some of my fondest memories. Running around, playing with all the kids in the caravan park, swimming in the swimming pool. I had some good times, but overall, I don't have fond memories of Victoria and really don't like the place now. Shh, don't tell the Victorians. So, in conclusion to that, what I can say is that not knowing who I was or what I was, not understanding what was causing my frustration and my anger and my temper, and being quite a strong child, adults in my life probably didn't handle me very well, which sort of made things 100 times worse. My sisters I felt sorry for because at times I was quite cruel to them. They were cruel to me too. It was the 80s. Siblings did that sort of shit to each other. I remember fondly, Mum used to use the wooden spoon. My greatest joy was her breaking the wooden spoon and me laughing and laughing, and her getting more wild because A, she'd broken a wooden spoon, and B, I was laughing at her. That's how much of a shit I was. Discipline didn't touch me. The bullying I copped at school, I didn't care if you were in a gang or a group. If you wanted to have a push and a shove, I was up for it. It taught me to be resilient, I think. Gave me my little bit of my crazy side, my dark side. I have a really bad temper, and I don't let it out anymore. I've learned to control it. Don't think I even knew what trans or any of my trans stuff was down there. I don't think I explored. I don't think I cross-dressed from memory. I wasn't given a lot of freedom because of my behaviour. But overall, I think I had a good childhood. In the regards of, I got a lot of experiences. My grandmother would take me in and take me to museums. Took me to Broken Hill, Bendigo, to look around the old-timey places, and I think that's where my interest in history stems from. I love old architecture. I love seeing the way the explorers had to live and develop this country. They were tough bastards. It wasn't an easy life, and I respect that. And I think to myself, without them, where would we be as a country? So let's leave it at that for Victoria. I'll do my next video on the move. Actually, no, I'll talk about the move now. So on the move up here, we loaded up a 24-foot caravan, which was the family caravan that was at Geelong. We filled it with all our possessions. We filled the back of the Tarago van we had, which was towing a trailer full, and we literally loaded up, kissed goodbye to all our family in Victoria, and we drove. A couple of incidents along the way. We had a drunk person almost run us off the road, almost kill my parents. They copped a caravan mirror through their windscreen, popped every rivet along the side of the caravan, and Mum and my auntie were driving in the Tarago with my sisters behind us. They very nearly could have killed the sisters, but they managed to swerve back out. And I have a very funny memory of watching Uncle Trevor running down the road, who's a big country boy from up here. He's chasing them down the road, ready to inflict some pain if they didn't, if he could get close enough. They saw him coming, and they yelled out a bit of abuse and drove off. Other than that, coming down the Toowoomba Range, we cooked the brakes on the XF Falcon that was carrying a very overloaded caravan, and had to pull over, let them cool down. But otherwise, the trip to Queensland was safe. It was a bit of a journey. Our family had done a couple of driving journeys to Queensland before in the Tarago. All of us loaded up, drove up here to see Uncle Trevor and Auntie Yvonne, and their family. Had some memories of spending time in Beerburrum school with my cousin, because it was school time and Mum and Dad wanted a holiday, so we drove up. Mum and Dad are working in Victoria, so Mum was a registered nurse, who then went to work at Telecom on a project that Dad was leading. So Dad became a pretty big boss in Victoria and up here. He was in charge of putting in a computer program for operators to use, where when you rang up and asked for a phone number, they would log into a computer and do it very early in computers being used in the world. I had my first computer at 4, Apple IIc. Had to put the drive disk in to load, then pull that one out. And we're talking the big floppies, not the little hard ones. And then put another disk in to start the computer and play, or start the application that you wanted to play, and play your little games, or do your work on a typing training. Very basic green screen on a black monitor, green writing on a black screen, no colour, no internet, didn't exist. So yeah, I've lived through the old days of the old rotary phones, to now mobiles. Obviously no one has a home phone anymore, everyone texts, emails. But look, the time in Victoria for me, in my formative years, was not fun. It's probably where I lost all of my self-esteem. I never valued myself because the people around me didn't value me, but it was my fault, it was my behaviour. I know that now, and I respect the people around me because they didn't lose their shit as much as they could have. I was loved, made life hard for everyone, but I was loved. Not as much as the other people in the family, but I've got to say I was loved. At the time I didn't think so. I didn't feel it, I didn't know it. I probably deserved what I got. So look, for young kids out there, just remember, sometimes the way your family and the people around you treat you is purely because of your behaviour. You need to look at yourself before you blame everyone else, and you might find there's some answers in that. So, look, thanks for being part of my journey. I'm going to wrap this one up here. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you've got any questions you'd like me to answer, please leave them in the comments, and I'll get onto them on my next video. So, thank you, and welcome back to my channel.